Yo, what's going on, everybody? I appreciate you guys checking in. All right, obviously, we all know now 6 straight losses, and this is where we're at 2-8. Obviously, I don't know if you guys were able to see the presser. AP just looks like he is defeated. You got the entire locker room looking like they know what's going down. They know that there's just no chance for the remainder of the season. And so we're gonna break this game down. We're gonna look at the team stats. We're going to look at the individual stats. We're going to take a look at the remainder of the schedule, just kind of see what it looks like. But, if I can pull anybody to kind of break this thing down, I got my guys with me. I got the Severe Raider up in the right corner, and I got Raider Rundown. If you guys are with us, make sure you guys hit that like button wherever you're at. Hit that subscribe button as well. You got the Severe Raider, Raider Rundown. I'm 805 Raider, Real Talk Raider Nation. But again, I appreciate everybody pulling through. But my guy Severe, man, how you doing on this Sunday? Same Sunday.
Oh man, yeah, like I said before, man, it ain't nothing changed but the weather, man. It's the same shit, different toilet, man. At this point, it's is what to be expected. But you know what? That this is part of the plan. It has to be part of the plan. It has to be part of the plan. We know what's going on. Hashtag SS to the end of the season. Hashtag it is what it is.
Season. 100%, man. Rundown, how you feeling, man?
Man, chilling, man. Like my man said, man, same shit, different day. Water's wet. We ain't tripping about nothing like that. At the end of the day, like you said, SS, strategic substitutions. We just wanted to see the effort today. So I'm not mad per se about the outcome of it. I did see some effort, but there are some troubling things that are in there that we got to talk about the future. But as far as the immediate outcome, yeah, I'm not tripping about that. We pretty much knew what it was.
So obviously I'm looking at the comment section. I'm going to start bringing you guys the comments up here in just a second. But look, let me know in the comment section, are you guys officially, obviously AP has been on the hot seat for just a little bit, just depending on how everybody feels. But let me know. I already got a hashtag fire AP in the chat. Let me know in the chat what you guys' thought is. Or are you guys kind of on that fire AP train now that we're 2-8 and is got a 6-game losing streak? It's just tough to swallow. So let me know in that comment section if you're down for that AP fire, hashtag fire AP. Let me hear it. But that's the hard part. We go into this game. One of the things that I thought is that we were going to, and again, I should have just remembered that it's our Raiders that I'm talking about. But sometimes when you have a coaching change, you might see a little bit of a spark, right? You got the Saints. The Saints had it last week. Dennis Allen gets fired. All of a sudden, the Saints come out and they beat the Falcons. A few weeks ago, you had Deshaun Watson go down. You had Jameis Winston come in, and what do the Browns do? They beat the Ravens. And so sometimes, last year, Josh McDaniels gets fired. Bo Hardigree takes over. We start Aiden O'Connell, a rookie, and what happens? We put up 30 points on the Giants team. I thought there was a chance that we might have a little bit of a spark because that's just kind of what happens in the NFL. You see it all the time. But at the end of the day, it's our Raiders. It's our Raiders, and they came out flat. Obviously, first drive, I think we got I think it was a 3-and-out to start the game, but we did get 3 points to follow that up. But we just seemed pretty flat the entire game. So again, I thought we were gonna have a little bit of spark, but I should have thought it was our Raiders. But again, I appreciate everybody in the chat pulling through. We got me, hashtag fire AP. You were the first comment of the live, so I appreciate you. But Sacktown Mike, man, I appreciate you. Or Sacktown Raider Mike, I appreciate you pulling up. Fear Raider, I appreciate you coming in the building. Raider 331 pulling through. I appreciate you as well. Myra G in the building. Appreciate you. SoCal Sal, always good seeing you in the chat. Ernest, appreciate you coming through. Mopar Maniac, fire AP, man. A lot of people are going to be on that train. Hashtag SS, Dre for sure. Always good seeing you in here. And SoCal Sal, appreciate you pulling up, man. What's he say? Hey, Niners lost and Queef's life ain't that bad. Yeah, I'm with you. But the Niners did lose. Is that what you said?
They lost.
Yeah, they lost.
The Niners lost. Damn,
they lost, man.
I think Geno Smith was kind of in the game too.
That's crazy.
My
Sean
guy,
Johnson, man,
legendary.
Man, he says salute everyone. Legendary Hashtag Raiders. Tight end Brock Bowers had the most catches in NFL history by rookie tight end in a game. Today, Bowers is the dog. 13 receptions, 124 yards receiving, and a touchdown. Yes, we're going to kind of go through the team stats, the individual stats. We're gonna go through that because, again, in a loss, it's tough. But at the same time, you can kind of see some highlights like our boy Brock Bowers. I mean, he's obviously a walking highlight at this point. Probably the only highlight we can kind of pull from this season as it stands right now. You know, he's arguably one of, if not the best tight end in the NFL right now. And it's impressive it's impressive him doing it, given the fact that there's really not a lot of help around him. Yes, Jacoby Myers is a good receiver, but he's basically our number one, man. So let's kind of touch on Brock Bowers real quick. Rundown. What's your feeling on Brock Bowers and just his performance today?
Man, Brock is an animal, bro. You know, real fluid today in his route running today. I know sometimes, you know, Severe be looking Severe be saying he be rounding this shit off sometimes. He do be rounding shit off sometimes. But he does. But today he was fluid. And I think we finally utilized one of his greatest skill sets, which is that yards after catch, bro. I mean, he's one of the better players in the league already with just getting the ball in his hands and letting him do something. Like, I think most of us said it day one when we drafted him. He's got that ability. You give him something for 5 yards, he can take it for 20, 25 if he really gets going. And today it showed on full display, man. So I think that's one of his better gifts. And I think Scott Turner did a beautiful job of just getting the ball in his hands, bro. Like, I think that's just a lost art. Sometimes we make football too complicated, not trying to get people the ball in simple ways. You feel what I'm saying? Out the backfield, in the flat, just regardless, bro. Just let him get the ball in his hands and let him go to work. So I was definitely happy to see that today.
Yeah, I'm with you. And look, it ain't easy. It's not easy to get your best player the ball day in and day out, game in and game out. That's not easy. You got to scheme him open. And his ability to get the run the yards after catch, you got to be able to scheme those type of routes open, right? You got to make sure that you kind of isolate him to one side of the field, you know, maybe drag him across the field and just kind of allow him to get that ability to get open. But it's not easy. And look, we saw it all season. Getsy did it as well. You know, it's not just game one that he's all of a sudden a good tight end. So Getsy did it as well. Sure. But Severe, I'm going to throw it at you, man. What's your thoughts of Brock Bowers, his performance, and really just the only highlight we can kind of hang our hat on at this point?
Yeah, man, he's a foundational piece, man. And I want to say, as you kind of alluded to, the Raiders have done a good job all season, even Luke Getsy, of putting him in positions to make plays. Today they moved him around. You kind of never know where he's going to be, so it's kind of hard to game plan for him if you don't know where he's going to be at. Sometimes he's in line, sometimes he's in the slot, sometimes he's outside. Had him in the backfield today. You know, gave him the ball on the carry, even though he lost yards. But just doing that and having the threat of that there, you have to game plan for that. So having that kind of Swiss Army knife that can do all of those things, I think that is a huge benefit for us. So it's good to have that, man. And as kind of as we said, like after we drafted him, like he's one of the better players in the history of college football. Like, you get the guy the ball in his hands, and he is going to do stuff that very few other players can do. So just taking advantage of that ability, I think that's huge. You know, he is our only real weapon on offense. The only other wide receiver we have is an LA law firm, Jacoby and Myers, because it's just that one guy. Just that one guy. It's just Jacoby Myers. So, you know, it's basically just those two guys. And, you know, you kind of know where Jacoby's going to be most of the time. So I think they're kind of taking advantage of the mismatches that Brock is able to create.
Yeah. So, yeah, and that's the thing. I think that's one of the biggest things that we can kind of hang our hat on, is that Brock Bowers is really starting to look like a generational talent. I mean, to where he is, when you talk about a quarterback's best friend, you know, it's either a solid run game or a tight end, right? That is what a quarterback's best friend is. And I think Brock Bowers, no matter who the quarterback is next year, I think is going to be his best friend without question.
100%. 100%.
But I want to talk about Michael Mayer, because obviously he came back, you know, and we saw some catches. We saw him kind of get active a little bit. And so next up, we're going to talk a little bit about Brock Bowers. But again, shout out to everybody in the chat. I appreciate you guys coming through. Michael Rascon, appreciate you coming up. Dominique 5, I appreciate you coming in the building. Fupa Face, you back.
My God.
You back.
What's going on, man?
Rundown was enjoying the name last time. I remember that. John Leone, I appreciate you coming through as well. I saw you come pull up in the building. So everybody coming through again. Johnny Fever, appreciate you pulling up. Let's do this, guys. Wherever you're at, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. You got the Severe Raider as well as Raider Rundown, Tomato 5 Raider, Real Talk Raider Nation. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button wherever you're at. Let's talk real quick. Chat, let me know. Again, if you guys have a question for the panel or something you want to bring up, hit that hashtag Raiders and then put in the chat. But chat, let me know what your thoughts on Michael Mayer. Again, hasn't been active since I think week 3. But he got a couple catches. We'll go through the stats a little bit, but it was good to see him. Good to see him back. I thought it was going to be a little bit of a slow start because you got to get your feet back underneath you. I don't know what he was doing on his time off. I'm sure it wasn't practicing and grinding. He was trying to get his head right. But Severe, I'll throw it at you first, man. How was your thoughts on what are your thoughts on Michael Mayer and his return?
Kind of good to see him out there. It was good to see him out there. He's able. Gardner missed him a few times. There's a few times I thought he was open. Gardner missed him, but just getting him back in the swing of things. Get us. We were running 13 personnel. I want to say a few times. I think I saw him, Brock, and I think Shorter was still out there. I think that was 88. Is that Shorter?
Yeah, Justin Shorter. Yeah, he's 88.
Yeah. So we're running some 13 out there. Which at this point, we have no choice. We have no other weapons on the outside. So. That is a sad thing. But it was good to get him back out there. This year was kind of a wash, but just build that chemistry between him and Brock. Kind of see what you can do with those guys. I think I saw him in the backfield a few times as well. He was in line as an extra blocker too. So those guys, they have skill sets that complement each other well. So that's basically that should be our future unless we do something like trade them, for some assets. But I think that's going to be our future at tight end. Those two guys. So. It's good to see that combo get out there, for the first time and since the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you, man. Rundown, man. What's your thoughts on Michael Mayer? How you feel about him coming back and just kind of getting his feet underneath him and looking actually fairly decent first show?
Good return, bro. Like y'all was saying, bro. I'm happy he got himself to the point to get back. And number one, testament to him to actually be able to come back after all those weeks and not even have to take no week off to get back in shape or nothing like that. Like he came back in ready and actually ready enough and knew the playbook enough to come back in and still and really, you could tell he was a little rusty, but he didn't really miss that much of a beat to me. Like Sabir said, I think he could have had even more catches, even more yardage today. I honestly think he would have got very close on that one catch near the in the red zone if Gardner would have put him on right
a little bit.
Yeah, bro. I don't know if he would have scored, but he would have got close. Because he's good after the catch too, just putting his body right there. Like he's a big dude. So I think he could have had a bigger day, but I was really proud of the fact that he was able to just come in right away and still come in there. So that's a testament to him as a player and his focus. So real proud to have Mayer. I definitely don't want to trade him for real. I think, like y'all said, I think that's a future with him and Bowers. They have different skill sets, but I just think Mayer is a better blocker as well, run blocker than what we had. And once we get that continuity right, I think we'll be better across the board with that.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I'll go back to it, Jared, for sure. You said Mayer did well out there. Again, I think we all agree. John Leone, you said trade Mayer in the offseason. It's something that you have to just consider, just given the fact that your best ability is availability, and unfortunately, just what's going on with him, you don't know, and so you got to keep the doors open, you got to keep the options open. So I agree with you. It's something you may want to consider. Sacktown Raider Mike, I think Mayer did a good job. Yeah, I think we all can agree. One thing, and just because Raider Rundown, man, you like the name, but I'm gonna kind of put this up here, and I'm gonna address it. You guys can kind of chime in if you want. But I saw this. Boop a face. You're saying my guys, my son plays
serious, bro. He's not serious.
Plays sports. I'm assuming he's
troll.
But doesn't.
He's not serious.
I hope you're not serious, man. I'm
Dude,
just letting you
serious.
know.
This is obviously a troll.
He's
You
not
gotta
serious, bro.
So just don't do it. I start
All right,
out
bro,
coaching at the youth level.
You got the president you want in there, bro. Just to take that win for the next 4 years. Be happy with that, bro. You got to knock off all this nonsense, man. Y'all don't know how to win well, bro. Just take
Man,
the
win. Hey, leave it alone, bro. Leave it alone.
So yeah, I hope I'm gonna go with you guys, right? Okay. No, let's see.
Yeah,
my
man, Jeff, man, what's going on, man?
I'm with you, man.
What's happening, bro?
I'm with you, but hey, shout out to you. Appreciate you coming in the building. Billy Davis, you in the building. I appreciate you as well. Raider Ryan, appreciate you pulling up as well. John Fallon coming through. Raiders. #Raiders. Would Ben Johnson be interesting as a head coach job, even if we get Shedeur? We'll talk about that. I'm going to go back to that real quick, just so you know. But LS, I appreciate you coming through as well. Just want to say what's up to everybody.
Damn near, yeah.
Any Raider boosters, you're coming through. Sun Goddess, I appreciate you pulling up. Always see you in here. 100% appreciate that as well. We got Just Raiders Baby, you in here as well.
Yeah, what up, man?
Appreciate you.
What's going on, big dog?
So let's do this. Let's go back to it again. We're gonna go over the stats and stuff like that. We're also gonna look at our remaining schedule and kind of what it looks like, what we think our win-loss record might end up being at this point. But John Fallon, I'm gonna go back to yours. You said, would Ben Johnson be interesting head coach, even if we get Shedeur? And so I definitely have my opinion on this, but Severe, I'll throw it to you first, man. What's your thoughts on this comment? What's your thoughts on Ben Johnson and if we get Shedeur Sanders? And let's do this. Let's preface this just a little bit. Let's say we end up a top 3 draft pick. Would you want Shedeur in the top 3 draft pick? And if we do get him, then how does Ben Johnson match up? But I think that's one thing we got to talk about is Shedeur Sanders even worth a top 3 draft pick at this point? I'm just throwing that out there as well. But Severe, I'm going to throw it over to you, man. What's your thoughts?
If we get – so let's just change the premise of the question. Let's say if we get one of the blue chip quarterback prospects in this draft, would Ben Johnson want to come to us? No, he would not. He would not want to come here, bro. He's not coming here, man. Why? Like, he saw Josh McDaniels come here, get a year and a half. He didn't instantly win, he got fired. Saw Antonio Pierce come in, had some success as interim. He didn't start winning immediately as a head coach and got fired. Team doesn't have talent on the outside at wide receiver. They have question marks at offensive line. They still have question marks at quarterback. They have question marks at running back. Like, why would he want to come here? And he also knows that if he comes here and he doesn't win immediately, he's going to get fired, or people will start calling for his fire. If he doesn't put up 30 points in game 1, you all give this guy's supposed to be the best offensive mind. Get him out. Like, come the heck on. Right? People forget when he started with the Detroit Lions, he was their tight ends coach. And then Anthony Lynn was the offensive coordinator. Anthony Lynn gets play calling duty stripped from him midway through the season. And they give play calling duties to Ben Johnson. No, what does Ben Johnson do? He's ass for that entire half of the season. But they saw something in him. And they say, you know what? We still think this guy can be innovative. We give him off season, give him the off, and give him the offense. Let him have the keys. He can do something good. They gave him the keys next year. He had another half of that year with Jared Goff. They had Jared Goff that first year. He had the entire offseason. They added some weapons. They got better on the offensive line, and then the Lions' offense improves. But they have one of the best offensive lines in the league. Like they had such a good offensive line that they took the best offensive line prospect in that draft, a generational left tackle, and they had to put him at right tackle because they already had such a good left tackle. Like, he's not going to have that kind of stuff when he gets here. So first of all, there's no guarantee that he's going to be good. And if he doesn't win immediately, you guys are going to say you want him to get fired. So why would he come to that situation? Like, it doesn't make any sense for him. He has his pick of any job he wants this offseason. He's going to come to the team that's fired 3 coaches in 2 years. Like, why?
So let me ask you, do you think, and I kind of know the answer on this a little bit, but the one thing that this Raider fan base hasn't been able to, maybe since Josh McDaniels, but I think a lot of people were skeptical of Josh McDaniels, so that may not have been like kind of the best example. But would Ben Johnson kind of give the ability for this Raider fan base to trust the process?
No,
it's hard because AP
They all want AP.
Well, the thing with those, like,
what?
AP was an emotional hire. Because AP doesn't have a process to trust. He's got no process. So,
the only reason I'm laughing, 805, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at Raider fans in general, bro. You feel what I'm saying? Like, look, because, like, in fact, look at Chili Pepper, right? And shout out to my dog. That's my young bull. Shout out to the dog. But he says, Ben Johnson with that resume, right? So look at the thought process on how people already think about Ben Johnson. Oh, he got that resume. Genius. Offensive play caller with a top 5 picked quarterback. You goddamn right. I want to see points. And at no point will we, if the offense looks like this or they're scoring under 20 points with a rookie quarterback, then what happened to all that? Oh, he's an offensive genius, bro. People will be mad. This fan base don't know how to trust the process. They don't know how to. So at this point right now, I think I don't think that's gonna happen as far as patience. As far as the question, no, he's not gonna want to come here if you're firing coaches 8 games in, or they're already on the hot seat 8 games in. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's just not gonna happen. He's looking for a perfect situation somewhere where he can go ahead and really hit the ground running immediately. I think that's where he wants to go. Here, I don't think he might. It might be a flash in the pan for sure, where we can get that, and it might happen like that. But realistically, it might take some years for us to really get to consistent, really getting in that position. And then the whole thing, a lot of people say like he has that resume, bro. I mean, last year really was the first year he really got it going. Now this year he's getting it going too as well, but he don't have that much of a resume, bro. Like Severe said, he really don't have that much of a resume, bro. I even look at his coaching history. He hasn't even been nowhere besides 2 teams. You feel what I'm saying? Like, really 2 teams. A lot of people get on AP. He don't have no connections. He ain't been nowhere in the league. This dude ain't been nowhere in the league either. That's not saying he can't be good, but a lot of people ignore some flaws about what Ben Johnson can be holistically as a head coach because they just look at the offensive capability. Like, okay, the offense is there. That's all we got to worry about. No, there's more. You know what I mean? There's more.
So here's my thing is when I look at the only way Ben Johnson would come here is if he gets the pick of his own quarterback. That's the only way that we have a chance of him coming here. If we don't have a number 1 draft pick, I don't think he comes here. Look at what you could look at what what's his face that went over to the Commanders, offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury.
Cliff,
right?
Yeah.
He wanted extra year in the contract, but at the same time, he knew he was going to go to the Commanders and have himself a hell of a quarterback situation. So I think that if you want someone like Ben Johnson, you better hope that we lose out and we have the top draft pick, because that's the only thing that can entice a good offensive coordinator or a potential top candidate for a head coaching job to come over here. Plain and simple. Because if we don't, then no one's going to want to come here. Not in this mess that we've got going on. So, in my opinion, I think that's I think that would be the only way a Ben Johnson would want to come over here. Chili Pepper 28 is Sanders beyond worth the top 3 quarterback. Again, to be honest with you, for me, I got to see the rest of his early games. I've seen just his last 3 games. In his last 3 games, I'm struggling to say that he's a top 3 quarterback. I'm struggling at this point. But because the thing about it is I'm taking into consideration what we could get for a top 3 pick in regards to draft capital. So is he worth a top 3, or is maybe 2 first-round draft picks, 2 second-round draft picks based on what it would have took teams to come up last year? Is that more valuable to me than Shedeur Sanders?
I'm gonna be real with you, 805. And I don't mean to cut you off. I'm a little biased. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna just say it is what it is. I'm a little biased. I like Colorado. You feel what I'm saying? I like just what Prime is doing. But at the end of the day, and I'm a fan of Shedeur. But just if I take my bias out of it, bro, yeah, I think there's no way I would pass this dude up. It's a lot of it. yeah, I think that the ability is there. I think he can come in immediately, and with the skill sets that are on the team right now, he'd be able to take advantage of a Brock Bowers. He take advantage of a Jacoby Myers. Those skill sets with his skill set, I think, would mesh perfectly. And if you get him one more, as far as a receiver goes, we really in the bag. But intangibles as well, bro. I think he's got that. Excuse my language, but he's got that shit. Like, as far as what makes a team walk, talk, and smell like they shit don't stink, I think he's got that, where he come in here and instantly change the mindset. Cam Ward got that too, a little bit, where it's like the mindset, you know what I mean, of like what you want your leader to be. That's not half, but that's some of the battle when you talking about some of the quarterback, right? And I think them two dudes,
So
no doubt, but Shador, if I'm talking about Shador, sure, yeah.
I got to see more of the first part of the season. But again, what I've seen the last 3 games, I just don't see a top 3 pick. I mean, you watch him against Texas Tech. It was because of the talent around him. He dumped a bunch of screen passes, and that's where 150 yards of his passing yards came, his screen passes that went for touchdowns. You look at his game yesterday, a lot of his talent around him bailed him out. I don't think he's as athletic than I think he may like to be. I think this pass rush is going to get to him. I think he tries to extend plays, and he doesn't have that ability. And he's not playing against. I think Utah had a pretty good defense yesterday. I think they're one of the better defenses.
Utah got a pretty good defense. They're all right.
But he tries to scramble and move around. And again, if he's getting, caught at the college level, the defense is going to come after him. So I do think that there's both between Shador Sanders and Cam Ward. Both of them are probably going to have to sit a half a season, maybe a full season, and just kind of learn. They may not be day one starters, in my opinion. But again, I'd like to sit any rookie quarterback, and let them learn. But again, I'm just weighing, do we take him? Is he worth the top 3 versus what type of capital could we get for him and just have a ton of draft capital, really build around whatever quarterback that comes in. Maybe it's quarterback next year. Maybe we get some a little bit later. So again, I'm just weighing those 2 options because at the end of the day, we have to weigh both of them. But again, trying to see who else is in the build. I appreciate you, Desiree. I see you coming through. Chili Pepper, I brought you up. I appreciate you as well. Coming through. Wild Turkey 74. I hope I don't miss anybody. LS, always good seeing you in the building as well. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, turn those notifications to everybody. The Severe Raider up in the top corner, Raider Rundown, and I'm Real Talk Raider Nation. One thing Chili Pepper said, I'll be patient. Then, man, you are one of the few that would be patient amongst this Raider fan base. Let's just be real with it.
Yeah.
So let's do this. Again, we'll kind of go through it really quickly. Nothing too, not a whole lot to look at, but let's take a look at the stats, the box scores, the whole 9. We'll kind of break this down a little bit, but we got the Raiders on the inside column, Dolphins on the outside. You got passing first downs. We came out passing. I'll tell you that right now. And that was one of the things, with Scott Turner being our passing game coordinator, I was really curious as to, was he going to really rely on this passing game, or was he going to go the AP route? Because AP's been preaching all season long. You got to establish the run. And it looked like, without question, he came out and he just wanted to pass that ball. I think our first, I don't know the exact stats, but it felt like our first probably 95% of the plays in the first half were just all pass plays. But definitely came out passing, 8 for 14 on third downs. We were 2 for 2. Man, Miami killed us on those fourth downs.
Yeah.
They went for it at the perfect time. And, those are just body blows to a defense. The moment, you get them in a 4th and 2, a 4th and 1, and they get those fourth downs, that definitely killed us. One thing I want to kind of come down and take a look at is the penalties. 7 penalties for 49 yards. It doesn't, 49 yards, it doesn't look like a whole lot, but man, it just felt like the penalties came at the wrong time the entire game. And
some of them were bullshit too. I ain't gonna lie though.
There were some tough ones.
Yeah.
You had that.
I mean,
you had that late flag.
That Max Crosby one was one I can definitely think of off rip. Like I don't know what that was, bro.
You had that late flag on Diablo, even though it was a flag, but it's like, come on, bro. Like
805. Tell me, yeah, I mean, you right, and you too, but bro, it's like, how many times have they dropped a flag like on a face mask, and picked it back up, bro, and reviewed it again. They've never done that in the whole league, the whole season, bro.
Yeah.
See a face mask, review it, and then drop the flag. They've never done that.
Yeah, I've never seen that before, man. Like they didn't call it initially, and then the people got mad, and then they showed it on the big screen. Then they talked and they dropped the flag. It's like, come on,
thank
man.
you,
like,
bro. There's been 3 games that didn't ended in face masks this season that they didn't go back and review.
Exactly.
So it's like,
come on, bro. Come on, bro.
The Chiefs game today. It was a play like, where the running back obviously got face mask. And they didn't call
the
it.
rules bend,
like,
bro.
Obvious face mask. It's like, come on.
So that's my thing. Is I'll tell you right now, I'm looking at it going. I thought an index card was going to come out at some point this game because it was just like, how the hell do you? I was looking at the refs, and that was one of the first things that I think it was actually in the presser. I think it was Honcho Carpenter that asked him. But I was looking at it going, the refs were kind of coming together, and I'm sitting there going, they're looking at that jumbotron.
Yeah, man.
They're looking to see what happened. I've never seen refs come together and damn near felt like a minute later.
Yes,
they drop a goddamn flag.
Because the thing is they had already made the announcement. They had already made the announcement on the other call. So it's not like the play, like it should have been at that point. Once you make the announcement and you like, hey, this is, I probably didn't remember what the other penalty was. It was a holding or something like that. Like once you make that
something like that.
Yeah, it was like once you make that announcement, bro, it's over. You move on to the next play. Like this stuff ain't supposed to be reviewable no more. So
I've never seen them do that, bro. They have not done that. They have not done that until today. But here it is, right? Like all of a sudden they start being smart and reviewing these face masks. All of a sudden, stop, bro. Bullshit.
That was trash.
That was bullshit. I think Miami's first drive really consisted of them getting lucky with some of these penalties too. I ain't gonna lie. Well, no, the chase on one was stupid. That was a dumb penalty. Yeah, the max penalty didn't. That was free yardage, bro. Like it didn't make no sense on the max penalty on that one.
And the hard part is again time of possession. They beat us up in time of possession.
They killed it.
And one stat, and this is one of the things that I want to talk about, and it's just frustrating as hell because I started noticing it probably about 2-3 games ago, is we consistently allow the opposing team to come out in their opening drive and score a touchdown.
Yeah.
At least get points, but majority of the time they're going down and they're scoring touchdowns. Like this defense has to at least help us with a little bit of momentum to start the game. And they consistently, I mean, you can look back, to week 3 against the Carolina Panthers. Right. Andy Dalton opening drive came down and scored with ease. And so this defense just continuously just allows offenses to score touchdowns on opening drives. And with our offense, you just can't allow that to happen. Now, mind you, again, it's just nothing but injuries on the defensive side. And we'll talk about Ja'Cory Benton a little bit, but nothing but injuries on the defensive side.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Let's take a look at the we're going to take a look at the stats real quick. There we go.
I hope there is a stat for third down percentage, bro, because we have to be one of the worst defenses on third down in the league. Going back to down
efficiency.
Yeah, look at that.
8 for 14.
Now they weren't that much better, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, still, like we were just. It seemed like every third down, they got every single third down. I mean, they didn't punt today, did they?
No.
I don't think they punted.
So. I don't believe so.
Shit, I don't know if they did because they went for it on 4th down.
Yeah, bro. I don't think they punted, bro. For real.
And they scored on 6 out of their 7 drives.
Jeez.
They scored 6 out of their 7 drives.
And the only one they didn't score, only other drive they didn't score on was the drive before half.
Exactly.
And I don't know if we're going to talk about like situational management as well, because there were some people mad about that in the first half that we didn't go for it. But I think we'll talk about that. We can say that. But I think, third down, bro, we're terrible. We've been terrible all year, though. So it's not a surprise that all of a sudden teams are gashing us for long gains on third down, bro, because it's been the whole year. So that's one. The run, they didn't really kill us on the run like I thought they would. That's one thing that I am surprised about, though.
I don't know. I don't know if they killed us, but man, they got the yards when they needed them. Let's put it that way. I felt like it was like we needed to stop. We need to get them kind of in a we needed to win on first down. Let's put it that way. In certain situations, we needed to win on first down, and we just didn't. All of a sudden, we let them rip off an 8-yarder. And yes, I think we had some really good stops, but it's like Miami goes down, they score, we get a 3 and out, and you're sitting there going, okay, we need to stop them on this drive. We got to get this momentum back. And all of a sudden, we let them rip off an 8-9 yarder. They get ahead of the sticks, and now they got a short second and 2, second and 3, a short 3rd and 2. We just couldn't stop them when we needed to. And so yeah, for sure. Yeah, Miami punter got a free paycheck, 100%. Man. Free paycheck today. Man, he was sitting nice in that Miami weather on that sideline.
Fact.
That's for damn sure. And so Cal Sai says, please keep Zamir White 1 yard off the field. Zamir White, okay, there was a couple times, definitely one time where I just, Severe, we review film and break down film in the middle of the week, and there was one play where he got the ball, and I think the cutback lane was there. I was hoping they were going to show the end zone view. It's kind of, I think it's like the middle of the field. And he just ran right into, I think it was Dylan Parham. Yeah. Just ran right into him. And I thought there was a clear cutback lane, but he just ran right into the back of I think it was Dylan Parham, offensive guard. And it was frustrating to watch. But let's take a look at the stats real quick, and then we'll definitely get into more topics. We're also going to just kind of take a look at the remainder of the schedule, what the current rankings are with some of the outcomes of today's games, and just kind of see where we stand in the draft. Because I think at the end of the day, I think 99% of all of us are playing for a draft position at this point. But you got Gardner Minshew, 30 of 43, 282 yards, 2 touchdowns. Obviously, that horrible late pick. Whether Jacoby Myers ran the right route or whatever it may be. That was just a horrible timing pick. But one thing to say, this was, I don't know why it is, but we continue to give teams their first. But this is the first time Miami Dolphins gave up 30 points or scored 30 points this season. In true Raider fashion, we decided to let them do that. Tua looked pretty efficient, 28 of 36, 288 yards and 3 touchdowns. Yeah. We probably gave Tua his best game of the season. I didn't look back at the stats, but probably the best game of the season this year. Possibly.
Yep.
Am I seeing this right?
Yeah. Yep. No, you're seeing it right. You're seeing it right.
Kobe Myers is our leading rusher of the day
with a 20-yard run, with 120
with a little end around.
Yeah,
one carry. That's it. Yep. And I know we mad at we mad at Zamir White, for sure. He, like I said, bro, he be running with them horse blinders on, bro. They be putting that shit in the helmet. They got to be in the helmet. But at the end of the day, Madison ain't all that much better either.
Exactly. So what does that tell you?
He's not that much better either, bro. That's 5 carries for 19 yards. Do the math. You feel what I'm saying? That's definitely under 5. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we're not getting no production, bro. We're not getting no production off of that. We got to draft one. We're going to have to draft one. That shit is sad.
Even if we draft one, like, people think Austin Genty is going to get here and say, like, look at all the plays, and you'll find maybe 4 or 5 plays where, the running back, they should have did this and that play. Every other freaking play, you're going to see 3-4 dudes in the backfield as soon as they're getting the ball. So it's like, Austin Genty that's not going to change with Austin Genty back there. You're just wasting a high draft pick on a running back that's not going to get any production. And he's not a guy that really catches a lot of passes either. So like you're drafting that guy for nothing to do the same thing that you can get a guy in the 4th or 5th round for, right? Like I was watching the Green Bay Packer game, and it was crazy because I think during that time, Josh Jacobs had 3 carries while I was watching before I flipped to the Raiders game, and each time, it'll be like the announcer, like, man, look at the massive hole for Josh Jacobs.
Man,
another big hole off the left side for look at this gigantic hole. It's like, bro, it's offensive line. We had Josh Jacobs last year. What did he do last year? Not a damn thing. So it's obviously the offensive line. We can't run block to save our lives. So until we improve up front, either personnel or scheme, no running back you put back there is going to change life for us.
But that's what I was gonna say. I think it's both, bro. Because honestly, like I just feel like we have a mix of dudes on this offensive line that do different things well. Like you feel what I'm saying? Like I don't feel like there's 5 dudes on the offensive line that do one thing very well, and we can really lean on that. We don't have that, bro. I feel like it's just a mix and match of all different talents, and we got to get that. Now I don't know how y'all feel about Meredith. He's all right to me. I feel like we can upgrade. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There is one guy on the offensive line. I don't know how y'all feel, bro. I'm not a big Parham fan. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not.
So I think Parham is probably out of the veterans on the offensive line, he's the weakest link.
I'm not a big fan, bro. I think him and it'd be him and Andre James getting bull rushed the most to me. Like we don't really get no power from them 2 dudes, but that's just my opinion.
Jordan Meredith, I think Jordan Meredith actually is going to be fine. I actually think he can develop into a pretty solid guard for us. Obviously, JPJ, he's going to be solid. I want to watch the film on DJ Glaze just to see how he was going to do. But I think the one thing we have to remember is this Miami defensive line is actually pretty good. They took it to the Rams last week. They got to Stafford, I think, 4 times last week. And so it was definitely going to be a test for this young offensive line because we got to remember, this is still a young offensive line. Even though Dylan Parham, it's his 3rd year, but he's still not necessarily, quote unquote, a veteran. The only veteran we got on this offensive line is Colton Miller. And so you got Jordan Meredith, still young. I think he's going in. I think this is his 3rd season, possibly, maybe 2nd season. But obviously JPJ, rookie, Dylan Parham, not necessarily a veteran. Then you got DJ Glaze. And so it's still young. They're still trying to gain their chemistry together. So I'm going to give them some time. I do think the interior of this offensive line has potential. Now we just got to kind of see where this potential goes. But I do think that it has potential. But they just haven't been able to work as a group at all. You had Cody Whitehair starting the first half of the season. JPJ wasn't starting the first three games, and now he went from guard. Now he's switching to center, so he's switching positions a little bit. And so there's definitely been some shuffling around, but let's just be real. That's embarrassing that Jacoby Myers, your receiver, is your leading rusher of the game. That just tells you right then and there we have no run game whatsoever. Devon A-Chain, he goes for 17 carries, 73 yards. I think Raheem Mostert kind of went out. I think it was maybe 2nd quarter where we really didn't see him return back onto the field. But at the end of the day, you're not going to have success if you're completely one-dimensional and you have and you got Gardner Minshew throwing the ball. Like it's not going to happen. Gardner Minshew's not going to win you football games with his arm consistently.
No.
So rundown back to what you were saying about not being efficient necessarily on 3rd down, and I agree. But at the same time, we were lucky as hell to have Brock Bowers this game. If we didn't have Brock Bowers, we would have been. I mean, we probably wouldn't have crossed the 50-yard line.
We're dead in the water, man. We dead in the water without him. And I go back to what Severe says a lot. And I say it too. Like I like Jacoby. I do. I just don't think he's a prime number 1 receiver, bro. I think he's a solid, consistent guy, and that's something you need, right? Like that is definitely a quarterback's best friend when I can go to him in certain moments, right? Like I can trust him. But I don't think Jacoby has that type of explosion, that type of game where it's like you looking like, oh yeah, that's a difference maker, bro. You know what I mean? Like you look around the league, bro, there are examples of what them number 1s look like. You feel me? And I just don't think that is what he is. I just think we have a whole bunch of B-list guys right now. And even Trey Tucker. We can't even utilize you, boy. But at this point, as of right now, you're getting the opportunities to show if you can be more than just the speed threat. And he's not doing that as of right now. Now, could it be quarterback play? Yes, that could be definitely so.
But one, we all know that Gardner Minshew's just got a noodle for an arm. Like his arm,
for sure
there. But it is truly. I don't want to say. I mean, it's embarrassing, but it's also like we just cannot throw the ball deep. Why did we couldn't even attempt one time to throw the ball deep? Now I understand Gardner Minshew doesn't have a lot of time back there. He definitely looked like he was scrambling around quite a bit. But Trey Tucker was supposed to have the speed to potentially take the top off the defense. And he's just not there. We just don't see it. I mean, Severe, what do you think on just the fact that Trey Tucker was supposed to be our speedster? He was supposed to be the guy to take the top off, and we can't even utilize it. I mean, there's so many inefficiencies with this offense from running game to passing game across the board that, what are your thoughts on Trey Tucker at this point?
Yeah, man. First of all, like, we don't have the protection up front to even try to throw deep. We don't have a quarterback with the ability to push the ball deep, consistently, accurately. And in the past, and make no mistake, like, Gardner doesn't have the strongest arm, but in the past, he's done things where he's pushed the ball. I saw him do it with the Colts last year. Him and Alec Pierce routinely, they would give Alec Pierce or Michael Pittman like a deep route, and he would throw the ball deep. So he can do it, but I just think right now he's back there seeing ghosts. He has no confidence. We don't have the protection, and in terms of Trey Tucker, taking the top off a defense, like, he has questionable hands still. I think sometimes his awareness on the field isn't that great, and like, he can't take the top off a jar of pickles right now. Like, I don't trust the guy's hand. Like, I don't trust that dude at all, man. So like, we definitely need an upgrade at the skill position on the outside. Like, Jacoby's not a number one. I think he's he's a top 5-ish number 2, top 7.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But he's not a number 1 guy. So we definitely need some improvements on the outside. And you're asking me personally, I'm drafting a wide receiver before I draft a running back. It's off top. Well,
you can get one in the later rounds, bro. I mean, like, you can get a running back in the 5th round, honestly, and be straight, bro. Like, you don't need all that. And I must take it a step further with you, Severe. I'm drafting a receiver before I pay T. Higgins $30+ million.
Oh,
there is no doubt in my mind, bro. I'm paying T. Higgins no 25, 30 mil, bro. I'd rather just draft one. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. If T. Higgins, if that's going to be the price tag, I'm gonna step away from that. That ain't happening.
I'm good off that. Jamar Chase, I might do that though. I ain't gonna cap. I might give Jamar Chase that money. I might.
Jamar Chase is a bad man.
Jamar Chase is different. Yeah. He's different kind of reason.
Jamar Chase, man, like, Jamar Chase, he's fluid when he moves on that football field. I mean, he just gets his ass open. It's that simple. And then when he gets that ball in his hands, he doesn't look like the fastest guy in the world, but somehow he separates.
Yeah.
Could you imagine him and Brock Bowers, bro? Like, you just throw slants all day, bro. I hope one of these motherfuckers just break a tackle or something.
Yeah.
So let's touch on the defense just real quick. Robert Spillane, 11 total tackles, 5 solo. Jack Jones had a pretty good game coming up on the runs. One thing I was afraid of, and I got to watch the film, is I'm sitting there going, man, he was so aggressive to the run. I was waiting. I was waiting for McDaniel to kind of pop just over top of his head, just play against him being a little over aggressive. But I don't know if I saw it, but again, I'll take a look at the film. Darnay Holmes, he got obviously a lot of playing time with Nate Hobbs out. He had that one, I think it was that pass interference call.
Darnay holds.
Bro,
every time I see him, he be holding.
Max Crosby wasn't able to get home. Didn't register a sack. I think he had a kind of a mediocre day. It was tough for him, but I think they just did a good job.
I mean, he did create that sack. Him and Diablo created the sack on that Butler got. Max had the pressure, and then Diablo picked up Tyreek Hill on a crossing route, like, ran try for try with him. That's where Tua was trying to go with the ball. And Malcolm Butler was able to get
I think Max was real disruptive in the run game today for sure. I think in the pass game, like, I saw tackles, tight ends. You know what I mean? Like, they was throwing the kitchen sink at him today, and hoping somebody else didn't win their one-on-ones. But that's what happened.
as much as Max did help influence that sack, Adam Butler put a move. I think he was over the center at the time. I mean, he shook that center, and he did a hell of a job of getting skinny, getting through his gap, but then also maintaining his lane. He did a hell of a job. So that was a hell of a sack.
Did Tyree not get a sack today?
He got a sack. He got the sack. He got the strip sack.
Yeah, Tyree got a sack.
As a matter of fact, Adam Butler created that sack on the stunt.
Yeah.
Adam Butler
did he?
Yeah, Adam Butler created that sack on the stunt. They ran a stunt. And Tyree Tyree almost didn't get the sack because he didn't like he didn't run to the quarterback. He ran like he was like trying to like guard him playing basketball, and then he's like, oh, like something snapped, and then he went after him and hit him. But like,
man, we got to fall on that football. Damn it, we got to fall on the football, man.
We tried to. I think Tua ended up getting it back, right? Or did the O-line?
Yeah. Tua ended up getting right back in his damn lap too.
Yeah.
So I mean, hey, that's actually back-to-back weeks. Again, got to watch the film to see kind of how he played the entire game. But that's back-to-back weeks that Tyree Wilson has kind of flashed a little bit. So let's just hope. Let's hope that this continues. You know what I'm saying? And so
I wouldn't call that a flash. It was like are you banking a 3-pointer? Like that's what that is.
It's like one of them little pop things that you get on, like
dude, just let him be. All right, let him do his thing. My God. But hey, I appreciate everybody else coming in the chat. Mark, appreciate you. 14th like the show. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, turn those notifications. Top above me, got Raider Rundown. Below, I got this The Severe Raider. I'm Real Talk Raider Nation, 805 Raider. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe.
Real curious for y'all too. Y'all the film gurus and the scheme gurus, but really thinking like the secondary was terrible today. Now, granted, like we were out like damn near the whole starting corner room.
We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that real quick because obviously, DC Richardson, Decamarion Richardson, he got some substantial playing time when our guy Jacorian Bennett went down, and so that kind of sums up kind of the stats. We're gonna get back into just kind of what the standings look like when it comes to draft position, and we're gonna take a look at what the remainder of our schedule looks like, and we'll kind of figure out whether or not we're going to be looking at a top 3 pick. So we'll kind of dive into that. But let's talk about Jacorian Bennett for a second. I'm going to kind of bring us back up to the big screen. Let's talk about Jacorian Bennett. When I saw that injury, I've played enough football. I've coached enough of it to kind of look. And I think Severe, we were talking before, it didn't look like there was an update just yet. When you see a guy and his arms limp, a shoulders leaning, and he's walking a little gingerly off that field, it's never good. I didn't see the actual injury. I didn't see it actually happen. I don't think they replayed it at all. But man, it don't look good. And
that tell me one thing, bro. If you saying that can only mean one thing. For real. My junior year in high school, I broke my collarbone. Yeah, bro.
That's
exactly what that means.
Your whole side just goes dead. You know what I'm saying? You're leaning.
So you can't move that. I ain't never really had it. You can't move that at all, huh?
Not at all. Yeah. I mean, and try to take shoulder pads off when that happens,
bro. Well, I mean, if that's the case, is the season done for him? If that's the case,
if it's a broken collarbone, he's done.
That's over.
Yeah, that's over. But man, just the way he walked off, I hope that they're maybe being overly cautious. I don't know, but when he walked off, it just looked bad. Yeah, and if we don't have Jacorian Bennett, Jack Jones has not, showed up and been. I think Jacorian Bennett has kind of proven that he is our number one corner at this point. I saw a stat that when he lined up against Jamar Chase, he basically locked him down. And then you see what Jamar Chase did to the Ravens. Now the Ravens have bad defensive backfield, but I mean, I think Jacorian Bennett has kind of taken over that number one corner role on this team. And now we got Jack Jones, and look, whether he's ready or not, I think DC Richardson is going to get a lot of playing time. And so if Jacorian Bennett can't go, Rundown, what you think? What you think our defense is going to look like?
Hey, forward? And I said it before the season, and I always say I love, at the end of the day, I love being wrong on a player when it's for the positive reasons, right? I wasn't a fan to begin, but like you said, he's proven. I think he is our number one corner up to this point, the way he's played. But if he can't go, this is where I and many of us at the beginning of the season were scared, right? Like, what are we going to do as far as this secondary room? You look, now D-Cam gets in there. For all intents and purposes, he didn't play like that terrible today. And like just from the looking at it, I don't think he played that terrible. He had some rookie moments, but his speed is evident. I'll say that speed is evident. The size as well. There's a couple times where like you really gonna have to get the ball over his arms and over his length to really get it over him. So like that's somebody I like. But where I get scared, bro, it's like this Nate Haas, bro. Like we're in a contract year, dog. You can't be missing no fucking games, right? But this is the thing that I be saying about certain players. Him is one of them. Where I was like, as soon as he said he couldn't go, I'm gonna start getting worried because now we gotta start playing Darnay Holmes and Sam Webb on the outside. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's where it's gonna start going. But I don't really have that much that much confidence in everybody. Jack Jones can get it together, but it's Maj Podge at this point, bro. Like it's band.
Yeah. And MeZ Boxer, man, you said Jack Jones actually tackled today. 100%. He definitely tackled. I want to watch the film and kind of see just how he did in the coverage side of things, because at the end of the day, I think looking back at the stats, Tyreek Hill, he 61 yards and a touchdown. Not the typical Tyreek Hill type of day. You expect more, but
yeah,
but still, I want to watch the film. But 100%, he came up and he was hitting. He came up in that box. He was doing his thing. So
where I worry is the Jonnu Smith stat line, bro. Like, the hell's going on there?
So 6 receptions, 101 yards, and 2 tight ends. Now, and we'll talk about that. We'll jump back to that side. But Severe, what's your thoughts on Jacorian Bennett being out and kind of how that plays a role in this secondary?
Yeah, anytime a guy goes out of a game and he's almost immediately listed as like out and not coming back. Usually he's questionable. They'll go to questionable and then they'll rule him out later. But anytime you get a guy that goes out and he's immediately ruled out, like that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. So I honestly don't expect to see him like the rest of the season. So like I said, I'm all about #SS. So we about to see exactly what the Cameron Richardson is capable of. I wouldn't even put Darnay Holmes out there, man. Bring up MJ Devonshire. Let's get it,
man.
Look, right? Like, let's get him a look. We wanted him at slot. Forget Darnay Holmes. Put MJ Devonshire out there. Let's see what he has at slot. Just call it shit. Give Woo Governor a call. Hey, brother, what are you doing right now? Like, hey, like put down those paper and plastic bags. Take off that apron. And get down to Henderson. Come on back, brother. So
quick covering the grill,
like, get on back, man. So like, it's no point. There's no point putting Darnay Holmes out there, man. So this was something, and this like corner was a concern for me beginning, but obviously my concern was more about Jacorian Bennett based on what we saw last year. But I also had concerns about Jack Jones just because, like I said before, Jack Jones is an Antonio Pierce dependent player in my evaluation, right? Nowhere has he gone where Antonio Pierce isn't and it had success. Like everywhere he's gone and had success, it's been because Antonio Pierce was there. So that's why I was so high on taking the corner this year. Quinion Mitchell was my guy, but obviously, Brock Bowers is a pick that we made, and that's turned out to be an excellent pick. But corner might be something we need to address going forward because we don't know what we're gonna get out of Nate. We don't know if he will bring him back, and Jack Jones is such a volatile player. You kind of never know what you're gonna get out of him.
Yeah, I'm with you. Raider Allegiance, appreciate you coming through. Appreciate everybody in the building so far. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe. Dre, for show, you have Jonnu Smith beat the cover 0 defense because Diablo didn't switch man after the check from Spillane. And look, I 100% agree. If you've watched any of our breakdown in the middle of the week of film, one of the times I kind of tried to point out just how suspect Divine Diablo is in coverage. And he is. And the moment that I saw a tight end get loose, we've now seen multiple teams target Divine Diablo in their passing game. Wherever Divine Diablo is, they try to find him.
Cincinnati gave the blueprint, bro. Cincinnati gave that blueprint.
I think it was actually a couple weeks before that. Gotta forget. I think it was maybe the Rams, I believe, where they just targeted him. Wherever he was, they basically just read off of him. And Dre, for show, to your point, right? Spillane, Jonnu Smith went in motion. Spillane, yelled over, basically trying to make that adjustment. Divine Diablo just didn't get it, and that just tells me, and it's unfortunate, right? He went from a safety to a linebacker, right? So, but he's been in the linebacker position now for what, 3 years? I think it is.
It's been more time. More. It's like 4 years. It's 4 years, bro.
4 years. But here's the thing: is that just kind of shows me anytime you see motion, the defense has to communicate. And if that motion is coming your way, you know something's up. You know if that motion comes to your side, you have to know that you got to communicate with the guys around you. And for him to just not communicate when you see motion come your way, when a player comes your way, and you
free ball,
you have no communication to anybody, and you can see it on the replay. Yeah. That tells me that your football IQ just isn't there. Your football IQ is just not up to par where it needs to be. And so we've seen this multiple times now with Divine Diablo.
Yeah. I've never been the biggest fan, bro. Like there's been times like he's had cool games and there's been times where he's flashed, but it's always just been flash, right? Like we want consistency when it comes to him. And then there'd be times where he's not available and then he comes back and he's not the same player. Just for me, that's really all I've been saying when I talk about him. I'm like, I know I can substitute that. Maybe I don't get the flash of coverage that I might get from him, but I can substitute that for a more aggressive player, right? A more consistent player at times. Even today, bro, in the run game, bro, too soft for my liking. There's too many missed tackles for my liking from him. Where I saw there were multiple times where I'm like, if you tackle this ball player or this ball carrier right here, it's a 2-yard gain instead of a 7-yard gain in what it was, bro. So
the end around, I think, for sure.
Yeah, bro. That against the run today, he could have been way better. I think against the run, period, he can be way better. For his size, right? Like, there are too many times he catches linemen instead of going to attack the lineman. You know what I mean? Like there are times, bro, as a linebacker, I see multiple times you knock a lineman back into the ball carrier. That's as good as a tackle. Sometimes, bro, you feel what I'm saying? So we
sometimes better. Sometimes the running back has to adjust and they lose yards, and then
they try to bounce it backwards and get out of trouble.
Yeah, bro. We got to get that adjustment of just being more aggressive, and I don't think he brings that. I think Spillane brings that, and I think at times we see Spillane try to do too much to compensate for what he might not be doing sometimes. And I think once we get something else, we'll be straight.
So I think in the run game that's basically the case, but in the pass game, I mean, I think it's the opposite. I think Divine tries to cover a lot for Spillane because I've seen several times where Spillane gets overzealous in the run game. That's why Spillane makes a lot of plays in the run game. But he's also very susceptible to run actions, and teams take advantage of that. So that's why the Raiders start doing a lot of – the Raiders start running a lot more zones now with their linebackers. But even then, Spillane, he's very quick on the trigger, which is sometimes it's sometimes you can do that. You can make it works. And sometimes like that's why I said on Friday, my Friday show, I picked the Dolphins to win this game, and I said Jonnu Smith is gonna have a big game because neither one of those guys are great in coverage, and and Jonnu Smith, he's at one point he was considered one of the better tight ends in the league. Injuries kind of slowed down his career. He's kind of been a kind of journeyman ever since he left on the Titans, but I figured he's gonna have a big game because Spillane and Divine, they both suspect in coverage, and we saw what Mike Gesicki was able to do against us just a week before. And so if he's able to do that against us, I figured that Jonnu Smith was going to be able to do something similar.
100%.
I'm with you, Mark Davis Hooker. You're saying what team is worse, Jets or Raiders, and we're going to kind of dive into the rankings, and so we're going to get into that in just a second. But the only thing I'll add,
Jets.
I'll add to the linebacker conversation is that linebackers are kind of being looked at like running backs nowadays, where you can get yourself a solid linebacker, second, third round. You're not having to necessarily pull the trigger in the first round on a linebacker. You got guys that drop. And so I definitely think that there's a chance that we can find ourselves second, third round, finding a very solid linebacker. So 100%, I definitely think we should target it, and maybe Divine Diablo's days are numbered on this team. And so
I think it should be.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. And so let's do this. Let's jump into the current rankings. So we got the rankings as it stands right now. Let's see. I'll try to blow this up just a little bit, make it easier to see. Make sure all you guys can see it. So as it stands right now, you got the Jaguars, right? Jaguars got their ass handed to them. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, I expect that coach to get fired. He better get fired.
He's about to get. Yeah, it's Black Monday for him for sure.
Yeah, bro. There's no way.
Unless they're hashtag SS, then
man.
Yeah. So you got Jaguars. They got their ass handed to them today. The Browns. Was it?
Goddamn, we're third. Oh, you see that? Hey, that's crazy. Yes. That's it right there, bro.
What's that dude from Game of Thrones?
Hold on.
So was Hodor?
Yeah, Hodor. Yeah.
Hold on that pick right there. I'm looking at.
We third right now, and looking at this right here, the quarterback will come, bro. I mean, really, realistically, we might be picking the first quarterback off the board. With this little list right here, because the Jaguars gonna keep losing if Mac Jones is gonna be their quarterback. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, I'm looking. So wait, what the Browns do? Yeah, Browns got their ass handed to them. Got it. Okay.
So we're tankathon. We're fourth.
So which one's more accurate?
I think these are just the standings.
These are just the standings.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just the standings.
Overall.
So the draft, okay. Draft is different.
Let me see. Tankathon might not be updated though, because no, Tankathon is updated. Tankathon is updated.
Okay, so we fourth.
Okay, so
but we should be above Cleveland though.
We're fourth.
Cleveland is above us. We beat Cleveland. So yeah, we beat Cleveland.
No, we beat Cleveland.
Yeah. So
we beat Cleveland. So that's we definitely gonna be bottom.
We're gonna be behind them.
Okay,
I'm still good though.
But here's the thing.
I'm still good though. At the end of the day, it's like, Tennessee. If they pick a quarterback, it'll probably be Cam Ward. In my opinion, probably be Cam Ward. And Deion's not letting Shador go to Cleveland. So regardless of it, it's that. Hey, bro. Yeah. People think I be bullshit when I say he's not letting him go to Cleveland, bro. It's just not happening. Neither.
So we got Jags aren't going to get a quarterback. They got Trevor Lawrence over there. They're going to get a new head coach. But again, when you get a new head coach, you just never know what will happen. Yeah. Trevor Lawrence might be on the move.
Yeah. You don't think they take Travis Hunter?
And that's what I'm saying. I think they take Travis Hunter.
They could.
Again,
it just really depends on.
If I'm Ben Johnson, I'm going to the Jaguars before I go to the Raiders.
The Raiders.
You got Trevor Lawrence, you got Bigsby, you got Etienne, and you got Brian Thomas Jr., who's proven to be one of the better young receivers in the league. And you probably get the number 1, number 2 overall pick in the draft. And you have a coach that's going to actually let you do your job for wow. And the Jaguars,
you're tripping, bro. If we get the top pick in the draft, you give it to the highest bidder that wants Travis Hunter. If somebody want to do that, bro, and then you hopefully don't fall too far to still get your quarterback.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to make sure you have to take everything into consideration, right? Yeah, you might be sitting at 1. And I think if we can sit at 1, then you take into consideration all the other aspects. You start fielding phone calls. If someone wants that bad to jump up, and as long as you don't fall too far back,
right?
But
you get your quarterback.
If you jump up, you can still potentially get your quarterback, and you could add 1, 2, first round draft picks.
Yeah,
to build this roster. So no matter what, you're definitely fielding the phone calls. But so we're sitting basically according to the chat. Appreciate you guys kind of giving us updates as well. We're sitting at number 4. Giants, without question, I think they got to pull the trigger on a quarterback.
They're scaring me. They're going to scare me. They'll scare me.
Yeah, like they're going to move around. If we're not at number 1, there's a good chance they will pull the trigger on everything. Brian Dable might not even be over there anymore. Again, we'll take a look at what the head coach looks like over there. Browns can get a quarterback. I don't know if you're saying no, not at all.
There's no way, because the price tag is way too high to do what, because a lot of people are like, they'll do what Denver did. Like, that price tag for them is even higher than what they got for us. You know what I mean? Like, than what Denver got for us. That's too high for them, bro. They'll at least, rock with him one more year.
It's like 60 million.
Yeah, bro. It's wild money, bro. Like, they're not going to.
I know. 60 million guaranteed.
Yeah, bro. They're stuck, bro. They're literally stuck. There's no way they can get
it. It is a bad situation. I'm not going to lie.
They're in a road to hurt right now.
Tennessee, I don't know. Like, does Tennessee stick with Will Levis? Because I don't think that coach gets fired, to be honest. So
I don't think so.
I think so. The coach didn't draft. The coach didn't draft Will Levis. So
I know. That's why I don't think so. I think he'll ship him off, or he'll just let him sit.
Brian Callahan, right? Brian Callahan?
Yeah, Callahan.
Yeah.
It's Callahan.
Yeah.
The Giants for sure will draft one, but how do they get rid of Daniel Jones? That's the question.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I don't know what his contract looks like. But you got Titans could very easily take a quarterback. Patriots aren't going to take a quarterback. You know, Jets could pull a Green Bay on Aaron Rodgers and pick their quarterback. But I know that they picked up what's his name, that Travis kid from Florida State.
Oh, Jordan Travis. Yeah, Jordan
Travis.
Yeah.
We'll see just kind of how he's working over there. The Panthers can take a quarterback very easily.
Yeah.
I don't see that.
I think they give Bryce one more year.
Yeah, I don't see that.
I think they give
You
Bryce.
think so?
Yeah, I think.
I think Bryce is.
But Canales didn't draft him. Canales didn't draft him. So, but David Tepper don't get where his head coach say. Because if he did, they'd have C.J. Stroud instead of Bryce Young. So.
Exactly.
Exactly.
As long as they're not in the top, like 5 in draft picks, I think your boy would get another chance, and they'll draft somebody like weaponry. They'll draft some weaponry for him. You know what I mean? I can see them getting a receiver first round early. Something like that. Nah, Cleveland ain't getting no quarterback.
I mean, I'll be honest. Here's the thing about salary cap. It is amazing how teams work around their salary cap. Some way,
yeah.
Look at the Saints. The Saints could be sitting, $90 million over the salary cap, and some way, somehow they get underneath it. And so, in my opinion, I think the salary cap, there's ways to work around it. If they want to either move on from Deshaun Watson or do something, to minimize that contract some way, somehow, or they might just take the hit, to be dead honest with you. But
that's $60 million. That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of money. But I think those are really the only. The Cowboys. Who knows what's going to happen to Dak? But if you kind of look at the top 10 teams, really, it's what? It's the Giants, the Titans, possibly the Panthers, possibly, are really the only threats to really jump up and snag a quarterback from us. So
yeah,
and we sit at number 4.
So
with that being said, let's jump over to our schedule. We're going to jump over to our remaining schedule and just kind of take a look at what we're looking at. So obviously we just came off of Miami with the loss. Next we got Denver. How'd Denver do today?
They whooped Atlanta's ass.
The Falcons. Yeah,
they whooped Atlanta's ass. So that defense.
That means I won my bet. I put money on the Broncos.
We can lose that game. Kansas City, we gonna lose too.
Like that's when you know you rich, when you can put money on somebody and you didn't even check what happened.
Facts, huh? You got it. Oh yeah,
I put money on.
Put some money in this.
No, so
I'll check it later.
No, so I
actually like 805, man.
No. So what happened was this.
I check on all my bets.
I went somewhere to go. Watch the Raider game today, and then my thing was I knew I was going to jump on a live, so I came home real quick to kind of give my time to my kids, and so we went outside, let them ride their bike. We were hanging out and all that stuff, so I didn't even get a chance to look. So yeah,
I would be checking my bets on the way back to the house in the car. Like I'd make somebody might make a phone call. It's like, bro, you better run me that. Better run me that.
That's me.
Hey. And shout out to any Raider boosters. Yeah, you might get we might get flexed out that Monday night game against.
I only see 2 more wins on this shit.
They love flexing us out of game.
We getting flexed out for sure.
I only see 2 more wins on that schedule. That's it.
So look,
I don't see Nan win on that.
You got Denver. Denver easily can lose to Denver. They're getting better. We're getting worse. Easily lose to Kansas City. We're at Tampa, which means we got to travel. That's after an away game to Kansas City. Yeah, so then we got to travel back-to-back weeks. That's a loss in Tampa, most likely. Monday night against Atlanta.
Loss.
Most likely a loss. Now Jacksonville.
You can beat Jacksonville. That's the only one.
You can beat Jacksonville. And I think
they stuck.
There's a chance. Beat Jacksonville. This New Orleans game is just tricky because of just the hype about it.
Toss up, but I'm just saying we win it because fuck Derek Carr. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence is going Brian Thomas is gonna go for $150 and a touchdown. Travis Etienne and Bixby, they both gonna have big games. And I think they got Evan Ingram. And they got Evan Ingram at
I
tight
think
end.
T-Law. I think T-Law is out for the season, bro. I think so. I'm not even
He out for the
mistaken, but I
season?
think T-Law is done. Yeah, I think he's done.
Mac Jones, man, look, Mac Jones was messing around. Mac Jones almost beat us 2 years ago.
He did. He did.
It was 2 years ago.
If it wasn't for Jacoby, that
it was mad. Jacoby.
Yeah, if it wasn't for
and
Jacoby, we would have lost.
And then wasn't it somebody else? Didn't somebody else like drop a pass or something in that game? Was
Yeah,
Jacoby,
bro. He did ball a little bit in that game. But Mac Jones overall is booty.
Man,
I think we might be able to get them. Their defense just gave up 52 smackaroos, bro. Like that's a lot of points to give up.
But look,
John Fallon, I hope they don't, just for your sake, just so you know.
They're gonna have the interim coach Shine still on them because Doug Peterson get fired.
He's out.
He about to get the boot.
You might as well chalk up that Charger game. They're not sitting nobody, bro. They're gonna have to play for some seeding. They're gonna come and try to whoop our ass.
74. You're right. I mean, we said the Panthers sucked, and look what happened. So I agree with you, but you just never know. The likelihood that we lose completely out is slim. I think we might pull out one more game, but again, we just don't know where that's going to be. But if that's all. If you think about it, that's if our defense comes to play, because that's how we're going to win ball games. Is our defense. Right now, our defense is very suspect. To say the least, with all the injuries. And so, but yeah, so we got New Orleans, that's toss up. But I agree with you guys. That LA game, this Los Angeles game, they're going to come after us. They're going to come after us. It don't matter what is on the line with that game. They're going to come after us. And it's in Vegas, right? It's our last home game of the season. And based on what happened last year with the last home game, I think there's players on that team that want revenge, and they're gonna come get us.
Yeah.
Hey, Dre, bro. Dre, we'll be fine. Trust me. Max is fine. Trust me. He's all right. He'll be all right after the season. You feel what I'm saying? He'll
Max know what time it is.
Yeah, bro.
Max
he'll be straight.
He'll
be straight. Don't worry about it.
He put up in the Chevy Impala, I'm sure.
All he care about, make the right selection. Is all he care about at this point. You feel what I'm saying? Just make sure it's the right selection.
I think but here's the thing though.
And ironically, we know who he's close with too.
God damn, the Chargers is balling.
So, but here's my thing though, is I say we say Max is fine. And look, I think it all depends on, do we make the right move in Max's eyes? Because I kind of said this with Devonta Adams, is at what point does Devonta Adams hold his legacy over his favorite team? If he just doesn't feel like we're going in the right direction, at what point does a high caliber future Hall of Fame player put what his legacy is over his favorite team? And, I mean, Max Crosby, he's got, maybe I would say 5 real solid years left.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so if we don't make the right move next year, the question is at what point does Max say, no, I need to win a goddamn championship, and it just ain't looking right. So I don't know if we're there just yet, but you bet your ass we better make the right move.
Yeah.
To make sure that he's confident in this direction of this team.
I'll just say at right now, he's straight. As of right now, he's straight. I think there's an understanding of what needs to happen. But I do agree with you that if this next move that needs to happen does not happen, then that conversation is going to be made.
Here's the question: is what's that understanding? Because he was, again, this is a lot of rumor, but I think we know this to be somewhat true. Is he was probably one of the advocates for AP, right? There's rumors that came out that said if it wasn't AP, he might be walking. So, but now does he still have that 100% confidence in AP? Because if that's true, if he's going to ride, with AP, then I guess the question is does AP stay? We all talk about a new head coach. We all talk about, AP is not the right guy. I think who the potential next head coach could be. Does Max think AP is still the guy? But then I'll throw another little wrench into it with all the talks of Tom Brady. If Tom Brady now is like, wait a second, I'm going to have my voice and I want my guy. And there was a comment in the comment section a little bit earlier. Someone said Mike Vrabel as head coach. Wouldn't be surprised if his name is just getting tossed around by certain people. Not saying it's going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if Tom Brady might, if they ask, hey, who do you think could be a good head coach? Would not be surprised if a Vrabel name just kind of gets thrown around. So, do we think? And I think we kind of went over the schedule. There's a chance we might win one game moving forward. So that top draft pick is a little secure at this point. But that's my thing is, do we think Max Crosby still has 100% confidence in Antonio Pierce and Antonio Pierce's job is secure for next season? If you think that like he's cool, if he's good with it.
The answer to the first question, yeah, I think he does. I don't think it's a problem with AP as of right now. It's not a problem with AP. And when I say understanding, it's like understanding like where the team is right now as a whole. So we pretty much know where that is. There's an understanding everywhere. Let's put it like that. But at the end of the day, still, when then you talk about, is he going to be okay with him staying for another year? I think so. I personally don't see the whole aspect of moving on and trying to start again and do all this other thing. And I see everybody's like, oh, he needs to keep his mouth shut and just play. I don't understand it either, bro, because I don't think Max is out here dogging his head coach saying, oh, we might have picked the wrong dude. Yeah. No, look what Michael Parsons said. Like, if he would have said something like that, I would have been like, oh, yeah, no. Hey, Max, I don't want to hear that. If he would have said that, then I would have been like, bro, you was an advocate. But
I missed it. What do you say? What do you say?
Michael Parsons said something about Mike McCarthy. And he was like,
Mike McCarthy.
What did he say? Zach Martin has done 10 times what Mike McCarthy has done as a coach. You know what I mean? Like he was like players like Zach Martin have done 10 times in the league what Mike McCarthy has ever done, or something like that.
Yeah, they asked him a question about Mike McCarthy, and basically, like, like you guys, basically something like, are you playing for Mike McCarthy? Something to that effect. He's basically like, no. If he, coaches come and go. If he leaves, he leaves. I'm not worried about that. he's like, I'm playing. He's like, Zach Martin is on his final year here. He may not come back. And Mike, he's like, basically Zach Martin has put in 10 times the work a guy like Mike McCarthy has put in. So.
Like, if he would have said that, if he's saying that 100%, I agree with what everybody's saying. Like, oh, bro, you can't be saying that, especially when you went so hard to hire the man. But he ain't said nothing like that. He really, anything he said, even on his podcast, to in the of course, at the locker room, you getting raw, I'm pissed we lost emotion, right? But it still ain't egregious enough for me to be like, oh, he's giving up on the coach or he's giving up on the team. Like, I don't see that from him. I don't see that from anybody, really. I don't see none of the players dogging AP like that, to be honest with you. And we're losing games, but, they was dogging McDaniels. I ain't gonna cap. They was sending subliminals at his ass. And with McDaniels, bro, through the media, whatever the case, there were subliminals being sent. With AP, I don't see all that, in my opinion.
Yeah, me either.
I mean, the only thing that I'll add, which is tough, right? If you look at the reality of what the season is, I think the overall consensus of this season, it's injuries. We've had nothing but injuries across the board. We've got, we had players. I mean, we don't know how long Devonta Adams wanted truly out. There's rumors that he wanted out since the start of the season, basically, and so you got your basically your veteran number one offensive target. And then you have two meetings, right? You got the meeting, the business decisions meeting. You had another player meeting, player coaches meeting before Lugetzi got fired. It's just one of those things at this point right now. It's trying to understand, where is this team mentally? Do they understand? Because I'll tell you, as a player, right, playing this game for 15 years, also coaching it for 23, it's one of those things where, as a player, you can look around and know when, like, you're missing players. When Nate Hobbs isn't playing, when Jacoby Bennett goes down, when you lose Christian Wilkins, when Malcolm Kuntz goes down before week one, you just kind of know oh shit, well, we don't got the players to make this happen. Now, yes, they're at the professional level. It's the next man up type of mentality. But at the end of the day, you kind of know that you just don't match up well. And so is Max Crosby taking that into consideration and going, hey, this season is kind of a wash because of all the injuries that have gone on. I think the biggest mistake I think we all can agree upon was thinking that Gardner Minshew was the guy to kind of be that stopgap quarterback, that bridge quarterback. You know, unfortunately, he wasn't the guy. And so, but let's, we talk about AP. Obviously, Luke Getsy was fired, right after that Cincinnati game. So here's the question, and I've already seen it in the comments. You kind of see it on social media a little bit after this game. Is this will be kind of the last question. What are your guys' thoughts on Patrick Graham as it stands right now? A lot of people are placing a lot of blame on Patrick Graham. Obviously, the defense has not performed the way that we'd like to. One of the things that I have been that's concerned me a lot, and this is more mentality than anything, is you've allowed damn near almost every game the offense to score on their opening drive. You just can't have that happen. But Severe, man, what's your thoughts on Patrick Graham as it stands right now? Because if he's in trouble, man, I think AP was going to rely a lot on Patrick Graham to kind of help with his defensive side, grow what he did last year. But what's your thoughts on AP?
Patrick Graham. You know what?
Patrick Graham, sorry.
I think when you lose what you lose on this defense, beginning of the year we lose our, the guy's going to be our second best pass rusher, a guy that was at times last year our best pass rushers, and Malcolm Kuntz. And then you lose Epps, and wherever you feel about Diablo, you lose Diablo, and your replacement is Tommy Eichenberg. Like, come on, and then you lose you lose Christian Wilkins, and then you got Caleb Jason and Charles Snowden starting because Max isn't 100%. You lose all of that. I think he will be given a pass. And I was looking at the rankings, and I know we feel a certain way. We feel a certain way about third down, right? We're 12th in the league in terms of third down percentage, like 12th.
Crazy.
We're the 12th best team in terms of the opposing team's third down percentage. And if you look at yards allowed per game, we're I think we're 11th, and we only allow 3 more yards per game than the Denver Broncos. So,
which is wild, bro. Because when you watch the games, it don't look like that. Like, it don't look like it.
Exactly. So, whatever we feel about Patrick Graham, this defense is being held together, by
Scott taping glue,
the school glue, the Elmer's glue right now. It's like. And so it's bubble gum and Elmer's glue right now. So I think he will be given an opportunity next year if AP wants to bring him back. He hired for he interviewed for some head coaching jobs, but I don't think he'll get any this cycle because his defense hasn't been like top tier. There's going to be some other defensive guys ahead of him, Brian Flores, and Edgero is going to probably be ahead of him as well. So.
Yeah,
so he'll have an opportunity to come back next year, I think.
Wild Turkey 74 stick glue.
Yeah, the glue sticks.
The glue sticks,
bro.
That are just always just messy. And that's the type of situation that we're in right now.
Not even that, bro. It's something like that. Them with that Hubble bubble tape, and that shit right there. It ain't even sticky, bro. After you chew that right there, it's like 5 seconds worth of stick on there, bro. Like, but. Answer the question, bro. Patrick Graham, I don't like the times that he is lax. I will say that in terms of what he calls sometimes. I feel like sometimes he's a little too lax. He plays that bend but don't break a little too much, in my opinion. But but like y'all said, what is he supposed to do with all the injury? If AP comes back, I think Patrick Graham is gonna come back. I think so. I just don't see him getting a head coaching job over some of the guys that are gonna be in the circuit right now. He might, but just some of the guys that are in the circuit, I don't see it. So I think if AP comes back, he comes back another year with this defense again, getting healthy, knowing the scheme, we'd probably be way better next year going into it. So that would be cool, and then getting some upgrades as well. But there is some times where he's not really doing the best of job. I will say that. But then again, it's like, what he's supposed to do? He's on his fourth corner. He's on his fifth D lineman, fifth D end. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's like, what are we supposed to really do in that circumstance? And like you said, 805, as a player, you'll look around and be like, yeah, that's not Christian Wilkins. But hey, we're gonna try though. You know what I mean? We still gonna try. We're gonna give the old college try. But that's not Christian Wilkins, or that's not, Ja'Cory Bennett over there. You feel what I'm saying? That's not Nate Hobbs. So we'll see what happens with that though.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think you got to take into consideration. I mean, you could just name two names, right? When Christian Wilkins and Malcolm Kuntz were gone, that was our entire. I mean, if you could just imagine what this defense would look like, even if you had some injuries to the defensive backfield, if Christian Wilkins and Malcolm Kuntz were still here, we'd be terrorizing quarterbacks.
Oh yeah, we'd
be getting after them. So I think that's why, I said it previously, it's tough because we've had injuries to both sides, right? At one point, we literally had 2 practice squad receivers and 1 practice squad tight end and 2 number 1 and number 2 receivers that were 5'11" and under, having to throw, trying to throw the ball to. I mean, you're not going to throw to your 2 top receivers that are 5'11" and under, plus practice squad receivers and a practice squad tight end getting substantial playing time and a beat up offensive line. I mean, that's what our offense had to deal with. I mean, like, what are you going to do with that? Nothing, And so everybody was like, oh, like Luke Getsy needs to put up points. Like, there's no offensive coordinator that can put up points with that type of offense. Point blank, period. You can question whether he had a couple questionable play calls. That's fine. There's always questionable play calls in a game. But, I mean, outside of Sweet Feet, Darren Mumford at receiver, all right? I mean, maybe we need to bring that back a little bit because
facts. Get open, bro. He gonna get open for sure. I ain't gonna lie, bro. That release package is crazy.
Yeah.
If anything, it made for great film watching. Okay. I mean, when I saw Darren Mumford out there, that was solid. That was solid work.
You sit up in your seat when you see Darren Mumford out there, you're like, what? Oh man.
I'm telling you.
Luke gets looking outside the box.
They gave the on a 2-point conversion. My son's team gave the nose tackle a carry. He scored yesterday. So these big boys are playing, man. You let these big boys play.
They're Mumford for running back now.
Ball, bro.
They're Mumford at running back. No, I'm telling you, man. I mean, so look, at the end of the day, right now, if we're not playing for a draft position, because look, we're at the bottom of the AFC West. We've lost to every single AFC West opponent. All 3 of those teams are getting better. You look at what the Chargers are doing right now, 21-6 against Cincy. You got the Broncos that are looking like they're going up. You got the Chiefs that are undefeated. I mean, at this point, and it's not that we're getting worse. We're also getting more and more banged up. Nate Hobbs is out. Ja'Cory Bennett now looks like he might be. That might be a pretty tough injury, just based on his body language, the way he walked off that field. And so, at this point, you got to look for the future. I understand everybody wants to, win those games. That's cool. But at this point, they're kind of meaningless wins in a sense that, it's not going to help us really in any way. You're not going to change a culture because you win 1 or 2 games out of the last 7 that we have. You're not going to change the culture with 2 wins, And so because that's in reality, that's probably the most we're going to be able to pull out. Is
talk that talk. Wins. Talk that talk. There is no culture change right now. Oh, you win 2 games and all of a sudden we're gonna the switch is flipped. Look at that. Oh, now all of a sudden, no, it's not. That's not how it worked, bro. Not for us, at least. It's been so much dysfunction over the years. We got to root it out systematically right now and do it the correct way. We got to grow the correct way. We don't just want the flash in the pan shit.
And the only thing that I'll add is I was kind of disappointed that we, I didn't see if it was talked about with one of maybe the press conferences or somebody. I don't know where it came from, but I heard a lot of people talking about how maybe Desmond Ridder looked really bad in practice. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Where'd that come from? Do we know?
I don't know where it came from, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was true. Because I mean, you don't even know Lou Getzey's scheme like that. So now all of a sudden you got to learn what Scott Turner wanted to do, and you just got here 3 weeks ago. It's like, yeah, no, it's not. You know what I mean? I was never buying play him to begin with from the jump. If we would have played him, bro, by the middle of the second quarter, he would have looked lost. He would not know what he's doing by the middle of the second quarter, in my opinion.
I think, but here's the thing, right? And when the announcer said it, and I agree with what he said. He said that what Scott Turner tried to do is he tried to dummy down the offense a little bit. Right. He tried to get back down to the basics. And here's my thing is, maybe this week you put in, maybe this week you play Gardner Minshew. But here's the thing is, when Aiden O'Connell's healthy, Aiden O'Connell, I think, has to be the starter. You benched Gardner Minshew for Aiden O'Connell, then he got hurt.
Yeah. Right.
And so I think you have to play Aiden O'Connell. One, because I think you really need to give Aiden O'Connell a true chance to run a starting offense, just kind of see what he does, see what you truly have out of him. But at the same time, I think you try to see what you could get out of Desmond Ridder for the offseason. Is it a guy that you want to bring back as a veteran presence, someone that could be a backup in that quarterback room to kind of help a new rookie coming in? Right. This is the only maybe, because I think there's a good chance Aiden O'Connell comes back in maybe 2, possibly 3 weeks. So you only have 2.
Yeah, for sure.
You only have 2, maybe 3 games to really see what Desmond Ridder has in real game situation, just to see if you want to bring him back as a backup. I'm not saying he's going to be a starter next year. I'm not saying that, but just kind of that's part of your evaluation of this offense, the evaluation of the rest of this roster. Minshew ain't it. Minshew is not it.
No.
There's a good chance he won't be in this roster next year because you're only going to be able to hold 3 quarterbacks, and Gardner Minshew may not be one of them. So what do you gain from Gardner Minshew starting? To me, I feel like absolutely nothing. And so now, again, if there's talks or if the rumors were true that he looked absolutely horrible in practice, okay, that's another thing. You're not gonna send a quarterback out there throwing hospitable balls at our receivers. So that's why I kind of want to ask first if there was a legitimate, comment by somebody that Ridder was actually that bad. Okay, cool. Then go with Gardner. But if it's just rumor and if it really isn't, if that's not true, AP said it. What do we have to lose at this point? Start Ridder. Just see what you have in him in real game situation, because you only have 2, maybe 3 games to get it done. Because Aiden O'Connell comes back, I think you have to start him just to kind of see what he can do as well. And you kind of start playing for the future and evaluate what this roster kind of looks like in full. So, I don't know. What's your guys' thoughts on that? I mean, do you think, based on what Gardner did, next game, do you guys think we start Ridder next game? Or do you continue with Minshew?
I mean, I don't think Gardner played horribly. I mean, like, I don't,
no, I don't think so either.
I don't think any quarterback on our roster would have done enough to win this game. Rather, and I don't want them to. That's why I wouldn't want them to. So it's like I'm not. People I still don't get the logic behind it. People wanting to win these meaningless games. Like, this isn't the like. And I know people like that. Sometimes they'll harken back to that. I think it was the '99 season where we beat who did we beat? Was it the Chiefs? We beat the last game of the year. We beat them like 41-38 or something like that. Yeah, and that was like that kind of set us up like to go on our run. I think the next, and then we finished 8-8 that year under Gruden, and then the next year we went 12-4 and yada yada. So people looked at that. Oh, that was a turning point of our season. We didn't pack it in, and we could have packed it in, right? Like, so, like, but this is not the case here. We're not playing for anything, right? These games at the end of the season is not going to, as you guys said, not going to change the culture, not going to change our outlook. They're not going to do anything but cost us valuable draft position. And the first thing that people always say was, it will, just because you have a top 5 pick doesn't mean you're gonna get a good player. So, like, well, no, it doesn't mean you're gonna get a good player, but no,
but it increases the chances. Shit,
and not even that. Not even that. No, it increases the chances for you to pick who you want. So
thank you.
So just because I'm at 13 doesn't mean we got lucky and got Brock Bowers at 13. But maybe if we were 5, you know, and we wanted Brock Bowers, you know what? We're guaranteed to get him at 5. So, like, if we wanted Michael Penix, people thought we were going to get him at 13. People thought, for some strange reason, he was going to be available in the 2nd round. But guess what? He wasn't. I told people he was going to be a top 10 pick, and guess what happened? He ended up being a top 10 pick. So if the Raiders were in a better draft position, then we could have, you know, either been able to get him or been in a spot where we can make a move with Atlanta Falcons and they still have an opportunity to draft a quarterback instead of having to move all the way back to 13. And there's a very strong possibility that they don't get a guy, which obviously we weren't able to get a guy. So the higher draft position is more valuable for a reason, because you have your pick of more of the blue chip prospects. So, like, it doesn't guarantee you'll get a guy, but it guarantees that you'll have a better opportunity to get the guy that you have identified as your guy.
Better opportunity, 100%. And it opens up all the options. It opens up so many more options. Yep. Exactly. I mean, Jared, for sure, man, I'm going to bring this up. How come we don't run more RPOs with Gardner? Honestly, Luke Getsy actually ran quite a few RPOs. The unfortunate part is, again, it's just by looking at the film, watching the film over and over and over again. We actually ran quite a few RPOs with Getsy. It's just that Gardner Minshew didn't pull the trigger. That's the hard part. He just didn't pull the trigger. Now, I don't know how much we ran today. It didn't look like much, but again, I gotta look at the film and see. But Getsy actually ran quite a few RPOs, and unfortunately, Gardner Minshew just made the wrong reads. Like it was just kind of plain and simple. Just don't know if he didn't. I don't know if he didn't trust his ability to get the ball, you know, in just the tight windows. Not exactly sure, but just the wrong reads, unfortunately. But yeah, man, this is kind of where we sit. You know, 6-game losing streak. 6-game losing streak. We look like we're currently in the number 4 position in the draft right now. We sit at the bottom of the AFC West. All our AFC West opponents are getting better, and we're getting injured, and we're going in the wrong direction. But at the same time, I think 99% of us out there, we know that at this point we're playing for a draft position. So
exactly,
you know, we're going to kind of wrap this thing up. I appreciate everybody in the chat. Appreciate you guys sticking with me. I appreciate everybody in the chat just kind of throwing all you guys comments in. I'm doing everything I can to kind of bring it up and answer any questions that I kind of see on here. But you know, at the end of the day, my guys, Severe Raider rundown. I'm gonna give you guys kind of the last comments. Severe, let everybody know kind of what you're up to. I know that you go live throughout the week, and I think you might have mentioned that you might be trying to do kind of a solo thing a little bit at the same time. So let everybody know what you're up to and what you're doing, when they can catch you.
You know, obviously we do our show on Tuesday. You know, it will be the return of Chris. He's already black, but he will be extra crispy that day. Looking golden, looking well done.
Fact.
So you know, we got our show we got on Tuesday. Then also Tuesday night I got the 50-50 show. My guy PharoahNFL, and then on Friday nights I got the Around the Shield podcast with Pharaoh and Big Mike. And I'm looking to drop some solo stuff as well. But you guys find me on IG at the Severe Raider, on YouTube obviously at the Severe Raider, X at the Severe Raider, TikTok, Snapchat at the Severe Raider. I'm probably going to at this point I might just open up a True Social. Or probably Rumble, getting all that stuff, man. F it. At this point, you might as well. So, you know, I'm gonna be everywhere. It's at the Severe Raider everywhere.
Good deal, man. Hey, and you got some merch too going on, huh?
Yeah, man. The 5050shop.printify.me. You know, check us out. It's in the description for my channel, also in the description for my IG page as well. So check us out, man. Got some good merch over there, man. You know, hey. Like I said, man, get your wife one, get your girlfriend one, and get your side piece one, man. Y'all can be matching. They can be matching, man.
You're calling shots out here. My God.
You know, that's a real RPO right there, man. You got options.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Triple option.
God damn. Rundown, man. Let everybody know what you do. I know you kind of jump on with your Raiders Syndicate, all that stuff, man. Let everybody know what you do throughout the week.
Yeah, bro. You know, I'm all over the place. You know, hopping on with my guy Leo on Tuesdays, you know, State of the Nation type of thing. We just talk about, you know, everything that's circulating as far as maybe some rumors, things like that. So that's kind of a spicy take little show. You already know Wednesdays. That's when I do my solo joint by myself, Raider Rundown show, man. So if you just looking for some solo takes, definitely I'm right there. And you are Fridays when it pops off, man. That's when it pops off with the Turf and Rundown show. You don't know what's gonna happen on Friday, man.
Yeah, tune into that, people, because you got
you
like
don't
an
know
8
what's
hour
gonna happen
block.
on Fridays. You don't know
one.
who will come in, but it's open to everybody, bro. That's when it really pop off. So definitely fire, bro. I try to do something after the games too. If I could join y'all, definitely will join y'all. But if not, just doing my own solo thing, man. So catch me at the Raider Rundown. Everything, bro. Subscribe. It's a pleasure being here always with the dogs, man.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. And hey, I'm 805 Raider, Real Talk Raider Nation. I come on here, do lives on Sunday nights. Then again, we break down film on Tuesday. So make sure you hit those notifications so you know when we do go live. But then I also kind of do just my own individual videos. I post those throughout the week. And so again, make sure you guys go all the channels before you get out of here. Make sure you guys check in, hit that like button. The Severe Raider. You got Raider Rundown. I'm Real Talk Raider Nation, 805 Raider. I appreciate everybody. Have a great rest of your evening, and we'll see you guys on the next one. We're out.
Need 7 more thank you guys from Shador. 7 more.
Facts.